All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to That Reselling Show. Thanks for showing up today. We're going to have a great show for you. I am one of your gracious hosts, Thrifting Goomba Michael. I got my two weekly cohorts here, and then we have a very special guest, the dapperest of the resellers. We got dapperest of resellers, Sam. So with that, let's go ahead and get some introductions out of the way. My man, Big O.
What's up, everybody? I'm Oscar El Cubanaso, one of the bad boys of reselling. I'm a reseller. I sell on eBay, Amazon, sell a little bit on Mercari as well. I'm excited to have our special guest here with us tonight. I know that we have an interesting topic, one that I'm going to be definitely all ears when it comes to social media. And I know it's going to be great. Looking forward to it.
Johnny.
Hey everyone, this is John here from Nevermore Antiques. I'd like to welcome everyone to the show tonight. I hope you bring something to the table, and I hope you take something away as well. I'm excited to finally get to meet Sam in person. I interacted with him on social media, and he seems to be a real good stand-up guy. And I just am glad to take this opportunity to get to know him better and have him on the show. Sam?
Right on. My name is Sam. I go by the Dapper Tiger on Instagram and YouTube. I'm a part-time reseller. I primarily sell on Mercari. A lot of my YouTube content is kind of geared that way. And hopefully tonight we can kind of talk a little bit. I think we're touching on social media and Mercari tonight.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate these three guys, Michael, Oscar, and John, for asking me to come on, man. And hopefully we can bring some value to everybody.
So let's go ahead before we jump in. Let's go ahead and get some hellos out of the way. We got Aaron in the house. Thanks for coming. Music 55. Thank you. Who else? Storage Puff. We got. Thank you very much for coming. I saw a bunch of other people here. What happened? Texas Bandit. Thank you very much. Hopefully the rain is not too bad where you are. Cosmic Thrifter. Thank you very much. Second Wind, whoops, not you. Second Wind Resale. Joe Deals. And, Christine is here. For the snacks.
For the snacks.
That's Sam's better half.
That's right.
She's into, what do you call them? Raising shrimp, I guess is the right way.
Yeah.
So, with that, thank you very much for coming, everybody. Looking forward to tonight's show. It's two topics we're going to go ahead and hit on tonight. It's the selling on Mercari, and we're also going to talk about how we really need to use social media to help enhance our businesses. Jennifer Hayes, best mom of the business. Thank you for going ahead and being here. Appreciate you very much.
That's awesome.
And, and with that, hey, Eric, OBX Picker, how are you, sir? I'm a novice at the social media part. I will throw the picture up there every now and again, that says, hey, look, found these sneakers or found this shirt and everything. But I really don't understand the inner workings of how it really can enhance, what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From that standpoint. So, Sam, I mean, you, I think, have a better grasp on it than I do. Or maybe even, John and Oscar, I'm not saying you guys don't, but I mean, how do we use it to get better or to make our businesses, better?
I guess it depends on like your school of philosophy, right? Like, so if you're looking at like from a marketing perspective, it's flexing. How much can I flex on these people and show them, because there is that part like showing my 90-day average on eBay and basically proving my social cred, right? Because it's like, why should I listen to this guy? He's just showing sneakers. Like, who cares? But like, are you showing like rare drops? Like, did you get like crazy, sneakers that drop? I don't know, like the Grateful Dead Nike drops that are coming out. Did you happen to get a pair of those and show them off? And then there's the other part where it's like branding, And I think about branding a lot. Like, you think about Apple, man. Everybody else makes cell phones, but Apple can get people to form a line out the door, sleep overnight, and pay $1,000 for a hunk of metal. How, right? And so I think that's how you kind of think about social media, man, and creating a community. I had talked to a larger YouTuber not too long ago, and he kind of like really forsake the word community. But I think about like creating value, you know, like what makes something like Star Wars timeless, dude, right? Like how, right? And I think that's what you can utilize your social media to do, you know, to kind of get yourself out there, to brand yourself, you know. So everything that I'm doing, Dapper Tiger is now my brand. You know, it's how I market myself. It's my resume. It's my social cred. It's my store. It's, you know, it's every aspect I'm willing to share with everybody. And I think when we lead with value, because I subscribe to more of the Gary Vee school of marketing, of branding, of social media growth and content distribution, man. You know, how do you take one, like say you go picking, right? How do you take that one thing and turn into 10 pieces of content for YouTube, for Instagram, to let people know what you're up to? And then, you know, let's say maybe you want to grow YouTube as a business. So you figure out how to grow and direct traffic, how to hold people's attention, how to get discovered. Maybe you just want to sell straight up on Instagram. Get good at taking pictures. It's no different than any other platform. You know, you just got to figure out how to get discovered, right? It's no different than, you know, if you do eBay and you're trying to get promoted listings and things like that. It's just another tactic to get your stuff in front of more eyeballs so people see you, right?
But I mean, is it just, you know, posting? Is it just pictures? Is it just creating a story? Is it just a little, you know, 30-second video? I mean, is it simpler than what it may appear to be?
Well, you know, I say lead with value, right? And if a picture, like let's say how you check sneakers, right? And it could just be a picture of you twisting the soles and a sneaker crumbling or a rotted sole. And you can teach from that, right? What do I look out for? Or even just maybe showing a tag in the tongue of a sneaker, how to find a style number of a Nike shoe so that you can comp it better to list.
Right.
And, you know, showing that. Besides just like, I found this at a garage sale for $1 and, you know, I can flip it for $20. I heard John say this in his last video. Like, hey, I'm selling this now. It's a bolo. If you guys want it, I'm done with it already. So whatever, right? Right. That's usually what bolos mean. It means I'm done selling it, so you guys have a blast with it. Right?
So make some money.
I don't mind sharing it now because I got all my money out of it.
Yeah, but like, you know, you think of what does well on social media. Why do we even come on a YouTube? Like for me, it wasn't a resell. It was to learn things, right? And then you fall into other rabbit holes and things like that. So I think coming from that angle, and you have people who are going to be in different, you know, places. Like John, who has been doing this for a while, isn't going to want to hear the beginner stuff, right? But I'm sure you would love to have higher level content, higher level discussions, you know, bigger transactions, things like that, you know, versus like, you know, what are we going to do to set up a managed payment account on eBay? Right.
Yeah.
And John's like thinking about, how do I expand to a third place for how do I get more antique booths? You know, how do I scale up my antique booth business along to complement my eBay business? Right. You know, or shift back and forth. Right. I'm pretty sure that's what you do.
Yeah. We have antique booths and we have the store. Right. And you're right. It's really difficult as a content creator to kind of create material for people. But that was a really good idea, talking about demonstrating like something through a picture. Like that would be perfect for Instagram. Like you said, bending a sole. I had bought a pair of shoes a couple months ago, and when I was in the store, I bent the sole and they just disintegrated. And took them to the front and said, "Hey, these shoes aren't any good." I felt kind of bad, but I mean, I wasn't trying to destroy the product, but it's better that I do it there than somebody wears them out on the street somewhere and their soles fall off.
Right. Well, and think of this, John, right? Like, what if you, especially COVID right now, right? I don't know what you rely on as far as marketing, but maybe snapping a picture of all your stuff, the things that you think will drive traffic to your booth anyways.
Right.
Putting that on Instagram. Maybe it's just local. It's for the people around. You target those people. Even if you do Facebook ads, so cheap nowadays too. You can completely figure out your demographic, target those people in your area, and basically drive traffic to your store.
One of the best things that I found is, say if I'm wanting to sell like this Thai beanie baby fish, I put it in my antique booth and I'll take pictures of it, and then I will go onto Facebook Marketplace and I will post those items. And instead of me like saying, "Hey, meet me here at X," at a certain time, I say this item is located at, this is the address, this is the place, these are the hours of operation. They're open 7 days a week. Go in, get it, and if you buy it, message me and let me know. Or I just check whenever I go in and see what's missing, and then I delete those ads. And that way, with the COVID thing, you're hands-free, you're not interacting with people, and you're still able to go in, put your stuff at the place that you're selling from, and you can then utilize your social media platforms to help do all the work for you. You don't have to worry about meeting. You don't have to worry about touching, talking. It really is a nice way to create another avenue stream for revenue for an individual.
Yeah. Because, to go back to what Michael was asking, like, is it a picture? Is it a video? Dude, you're your own marketer. Whatever you think will do the best to convey whatever you're getting across. And obviously YouTube is its own deal versus like Instagram. For me, Instagram's easy. Take a picture, and it doesn't, sometimes it's your store, sometimes it's whatever's going out. Some people like to show the stacks of whatever, but besides just flexing, I still say, like, what kind of value are you bringing to the table? And as a reseller, especially if you're learning, if you can teach it, obviously don't parrot stuff that's wrong or you're not really sure about just to kind of stand out. Right. But like, if you're really sure and it helped you, why not pass that along? It helps you learn because you can recite it, right? To me, that's part of learning. If you can speak it and you can teach it, it. So why not share that? You enhance your status, your level of knowledge. You're helping other people, and guess what? Other people are going to tell other people because you help them. So it's like it feeds itself, and word of mouth. And that's what I get back to with the Star Wars reference and the Apple reference, right? What makes people stand out in lines, go bonkers for these brands that tend to be timeless right now?
Right.
Even to have some crazy stuff go down, don't matter, right? But it's that kind of stuff I'm talking about. So they, in those, in Apple's, they provide, a technological experience. For Star Wars, it's the story and the generational experience, But, what can we offer our audience, the people who follow us, even if it's just really doing a tremendous job showing what's in your store and helping somebody who's, to find it a little easier because you got better at getting discovered on social media.
Yeah. Very true. You use social media at all, Oscar?
See, that's my biggest weak point is social media, because I mean, I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, I have a Facebook. We have the Bad Boys of Reselling Instagram, where the three of us, would upload, some of our successes, some of our packages, other things. Here are craziest Franken boxes, you know what I mean, things like that. But for me lately, it's been, so busy that, I've had to take away a little bit from, social media, right? So my time is very limited. If I'm outsourcing, I'm in a rush sometimes because I'm a part-time reseller. From 9 to 5, I'm here. So I have limited amount of time before I work and after I work, that I'm just rushing, that I don't really, I haven't trained myself to put myself in a position where I'm automatically, uploading what it is that I'm doing while I'm shipping out, things like that, so that's the social media is one of the things that I've probably been the worst at.
Bro, tomorrow, you go sourcing in the morning before work, right? I thought I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
Bro, tomorrow when you go sourcing, whatever you pick up and put in your cart and why you decide, I want you to take your Instagram, pull up Instagram, go in your stories, hold down that button, and just record why you picked it and why that thing is in your cart, and then let go and then let it be on the internet. You don't have to do anything fancy at it. That's it.
No, you're absolutely right.
Like that's.
But it's the getting myself used to that, right? So
and that's why I'm saying once it's in your cart, because I'm trying to make you neurologically anchor something. If it's in your cart, you must pull out your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to work on my posture a lot, so because I used to like slump a lot, so I would teach myself if I walked in through a doorway, I would have to stand up. It was a visual cue for myself. It was a physical cue, and so that cart every time it's in your that's how you train yourself. You know what I mean? Versus like I should have like, dude, I feel like I should have such a killer of lives and dreams. And like, and just turns people bad. So it's like, forget about the I should have. Like, let's do like here's a solution for you right now.
Well, I guess it gets down to the point. It's kind of like we said about when people first want to start off with YouTube, right? And they go, well, what do you got to do? What do you got to do? You got to turn the camera on. I mean, if you don't turn the camera on, so I guess it's like same type of thing. If you're not, you got to get the phone out, hit the button, and just do it a couple of times, and then you feel more comfortable. You're okay, and then you get better and better at it. And you get fancy and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, I just a lot of people, they do all the fancy stuff on their stories and everything, and it's like the thing that I struggle with there is okay, I'm going to take a 30-second clip. How much time am I going to spend on a 30-second clip, right? Like if I got to spend 15 minutes for 30 seconds, I don't know. Is that a good use of my time? And I don't know if we'll ever know, because you don't know what it's going to do. You think about it. If that drives one person to your store to buy something from you, well, then yes, it's definitely worth it. From that standpoint.
And it has to be like a long-term play, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the thing. So, were you gonna say, Oscar?
What I was gonna say is like I have like videos and pictures that I've taken that I shared with a couple of the Facebook groups that I'm in with a couple of people, right? But onto my personal social media, I've not really posted, but I probably have like 4 months worth of videos. I do have pictures of carts, like even like truck fulls of packages going out. Like I can scroll all day, like like things like that. But it's just I haven't like gotten myself to automatically. I'll take a picture of it, but then I haven't loaded anything else, which is definitely something that I need to do. So probably tomorrow I'll go ahead and I'll try to begin again, because I do understand the importance of branding yourself. I do understand the importance of showing what it is that you're doing, with the hopes that maybe what it is that you're doing can touch somebody, inspire somebody, right?
Yeah.
And help somebody, so that's kind of the reason why I would like to show people what it is that I have shipping out, what kind of items that I'm selling, because I know that I'm very, very good at product research, right? I'm really good at finding what's selling, what's trending, stay ahead of the trends, so that's kind of something that I want to be able to give out to people, right? So that's something that I want to be able to share with people, and then hopefully people are able to kind of learn these tips and tricks for staying ahead of the curve. So maybe that's probably the direction I would like to go on my social media. I know there are a couple other people that kind of do similar things, that they post so they can see what's selling, and then things like that.
But there's only one Oscar. Maybe you express it in a way. You package that information in a way that somebody else might connect better than if I did it and they listen to me do it, right? And that's okay. But, and that's why I'm like, it doesn't matter if other people are doing it. If anything, it'd be good for you to check them out and just kind of see what your competition's about. Maybe things you could level up and do better, polish off what they're doing, and make it your own. So
No,
that's
definitely.
what's cool about social media.
I love Instagram. It's my favorite platform to just show stuff because I'm a photographer and I love photography.
Mhm.
And it just makes it I don't know. I just love being able to showcase neat things that I find. So I always tell people, if you want more content from me, then follow me on Instagram. I don't really put a whole lot of videos out over there, but I've sold some stuff over there. Like if you hashtag stuff right, and if you put that it's for sale, people will reach out to you on Instagram, and you can make connections and sell some stuff. I have a buddy that ships stuff all over the world because of Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, I mean, and I see folks, that's how they grow their stores. You know, especially I know a couple of posh sellers. You know, their closet is completely, that's just what they wear, and so when they advertise, you know, that's what they advertise on their Instagram. My closet, it's part of the way they sell. I've heard another person, and they'll wear different shoes in their Instagram content, their YouTube content. You know, and she has a range of sizes that she'll wear, so she can sell a variety of sizes. Because somebody will in the comments go, "Hey, those shoes are really cute. Oh, they're available for sale, by the way. If you're interested, just DM me." Now she doesn't have to worry about eBay fees. It's, you know, she cuts a middleman out, and she sold a pair of shoes, and it doesn't have to always be the size 9. You know, she goes all the way up to 10 or whatever. You know, so she can sell a range of shoes and not just have to be one pair. So she can rotate and source a variety. So she's done a really good job of figuring out how to make that work out for her.
Yeah. Louis has a good point here. He's saying, you know, it is marketing. It's the ability to consistently push and grow in order to see your fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You know, via technology, social media skills, manners, and expressing it. I mean, that's definitely true.
I highly recommend, if you guys haven't, check out Jab 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 Right Hook from Gary Vee. It's like almost 10-year-old book. He wrote it when he first kind of came out, but I think it's a very good book in terms of kind of getting your mind around, you know, how to take advantage of, let's say, trends, and the timing of things, or how to structure your social media content. So it's not so much provocative as much as it's, you know, bringing out emotion in people. You know, you're trying to get people to care about what you're putting up on there, you know, and care about you.
Yeah.
Have you used any schedulers, like taking advantage of Facebook, where you can schedule stuff out, your content, so that you're always having a steady stream of stuff going out?
I don't, and I've looked into stuff like Hootsuite, where you can kind of schedule and plan that stuff. I'm kind of lazy, and I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and it feels more organic. Like if I wake up in the morning, it's like, this seems like a good thing to post about. You know, like somebody, you know, and me and a customer had a random transaction in the messages, and I felt like sharing that. And it was a good customer service, how I handled the difficult person example for people. And it just happened to work out that way. And sometimes I have nothing, you know, and I don't want to just start, you know, showing, you know, random packages or random things just cause, you know, I try to think of, you know, how to invite people into my life a little bit, but also, you know, like I said, share some value. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So, it would be nice if I had a team like Gary Vee, you know, where there's constant, you know, constant stuff going on. There's a dedicated dude filming me. I don't need my wife reminding me. There's a dude I hired. He's got a camera on me at all times. I don't have to pick and choose whether
kind of success. You're crazy.
Yes, but that's basically, you know, the value that he saw in social media marketing and content creation, and now he's kind of like the leader in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, and you look at what you're talking about, you know, using social media. Look what, I mean, I don't know how much people want to give credit or say, oh, it's not credit. But you look at the sports cards market, you know, yeah, it has always been there. But when you really look, when he started to talk about it more and more and more and more, all of a sudden, man, the hype starts getting there and everything, So,
Right.
he's able to, but again, when you have that kind of an audience, you're able to push that kind of stuff. You're able to help that.
Yeah, because he's able to influence large number of people that actually believe in him because of his branding expertise and his marketing expertise. So he's pretty much, you can look at Gary Vee and you can consider him a trendsetter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But
he's able to shine the spotlight on a number of different niches, right? And then automatically they may begin to trend.
Yeah, when you have that kind of influence and that kind of following, you can create your own waves. You can create, I mean, if Gary Vee says something's hot, then that just him saying it could actually catapult that item into being, hot.
I mean, he literally might be able to make that Beanie Baby collection hot, valuable again.
Oh my God, I hope so. Good. Oh my God, I'm a rich man. I'm gonna send Gary Vee a list of every Beanie Baby that I have. I'm gonna send Gary Vee a list of all of the stocks that I've invested in, so we can start talking about them a little bit and watch them go. Whoop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really manipulate the stock market like that. I don't know if that's illegal or not. It could be, but I don't want to see you go into jail. I don't want to see you get
Donald Trump talks about whatever, that stock goes up. Like, he opens his mouth about Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, when he got all of those private sector companies to work together because of the situation that was going on. What happened to their stock? Whoop. He starts talking about he's going to bail out the airlines. They started to go up, and now they went back down. He needs to talk about them again so they go back up because they got stocks in airlines.
Crazy.
Actually, we should just go ahead and deal with Alex because Alex did teach Gary Vee everything that he knows.
This is true.
Right. All from the recliner in the man cave.
You think about what Alex is doing, though, like he's getting on Instagram and he's sharing his story. He's sharing his brand and he's helping people. It doesn't really have to do with reselling right now, but it's helping people recover. And then now how many people come out like, oh, yeah, I dealt with a substance addiction, or I have addiction problems. I'm kind of lost right now, and Alex can help me through that. And I think that's a cool thing, kind of leading with that. And again, maybe Alex packages that kind of message, the AA message, in a way that other people can understand. And now because I like Alex, because he helped me through a difficult time, I'm a loyal follower. And I'm going to tell other people about Alex, like I'm doing right now, about what an awesome thing he's doing for other people and why you should follow him. Branding, right? So, man, I think people call it karma or whatever, man. I just, I think that's really what it is. And it works out way better than just, like I said, flexing on people all the time.
Very true. Very true. So then how have you, to kind of, we also want to talk about, selling on Mercari. A lot of, there are a lot of people, it's still looked at as, eBay's little brother, and stuff like that, and everything. So I started away, but how do you, how have you been able to use, the social media to help your, Mercari selling? How did you, or did you get on Mercari and then start using that to, then social media to help you once you were established? Like, how do you blend them together?
So, all right. So I would say that I learned Instagram first. I kind of use it to help my other business out. So I kind of already had some of that in the background. But when I started, even when I started my other business, I started as a hobby. So a lot of it was sharing what I'm doing in my hobby. I'm having fun with it, sharing things that I'm having fun doing. And by learning, social media, how to organically get people's attention, now I know how to operate things like Poshmark and Mercari, these platforms that have engineered themselves to be like a social media platform. Because you have to use hashtags on Mercari. You got to write something provocative enough, and you only get a certain amount of characters to do it, less than eBay. So you got to be a lot more concise and a lot more, attention grabbing with your words. So So even though, I think that eBay may have more eyes, it's got a much bigger market share of all the categories. As a seller, like I don't have to worry about anybody returning a $700 pool, and I don't have to worry about somebody coming and messing with my store and like one strike and you're out.
Right.
Really?
So yeah, like as a reseller, Mercari has got my back, man. Like once the transaction is done, it's done. Nobody can come back and leave me negative feedback. There's no 30-day return. There's no 60-day return. If they can't read, if the buyer can't read, misread the description and wants a return, no dice. Like that's their fault for not being able to read. So it's on us to, have very good descriptions just to protect ourselves as resellers. So,
but do you find it easier, quicker to work in Mercari than you do, let's say, an eBay? How much easier is it? Because I think a lot of people shy away because they don't get it. They don't, what I'm saying, from that standpoint.
So I think it's so much easier, and granted, I have my own bias. I can do it all. I mean, I can do it all from my phone. And I don't have, there's not like 11 bajillion categories like in eBay. It's not super nuanced. You got to worry about brand, category, color, condition, as far as all the little subcategories you got to fill out, model, make sometimes, but that's really about it. And if you don't know, you don't know. And then you put your hashtags, you got to worry about shipping. If you don't even know shipping, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about calculated or not calculated. They have flat rate fees. You just got to know the ballpark range of how much, your package is going to weigh, like with all the packaging material. And then they got to figure it out for you for 3 flat rate prices. Pretty straightforward. And they really decrease the friction for people to buy. I don't have to set up a PayPal account. I put in my bank account one time, and then I pay for it, and that's that. So they make everything super, super easy for the buyer. And because you think that's what's Amazon's edge over eBay, right? The buy box.
Right.
So if you can make it easier, especially for folks who are more on their phone, not to say that eBay isn't like good on the phone. You have plenty of countries like that's all they got is eBay. But I'm talking about for people who want to buy things quickly, and you don't have to worry about returning things getting returned on you down the line, especially bigger ticket items, or the people who like to rent games on eBay. You don't have to worry about that stuff, right? So that's like my biggest nightmare on eBay.
Yeah. So you mentioned the use of hashtags that are on Mercari, and so again, not knowing anything about it, trying to, figure out, thinking, okay, so it's something you got to learn, it's something you got to figure out. I mean, is it simple? Is it, obviously, it's got, things have to have, there's got to be, they want hashtags for a reason. So are they generic hashtags or are they specific hashtags? Like how do you know what works right and what works wrong?
You experiment, right? So it's as easy as maybe changing. Let's say I'm putting up a pair of Nike Air Force Ones up on Mercari, right? So I'll try and put things that I want found in the search bar. So I'll put Nike Air Force Ones, men's shoes, sneakers as the hashtag, and I'll experiment. How do I experiment? I go back to the search bar. I literally search Nike Air Force Ones and see where I rank. And I might even go all the way back and then I put the actual style number of it and then see if I rank better that way. And it's because it's such a small, because people think, oh, it's smaller. There's not as many people on there, so it must be bad. I'm like, it's easier for me to compete. I don't have to lose money by promoting something. I mean, I can, because of the functions in Mercari, but I don't off the bat have to do a promoted listing to get in front of it. I can just trick it by either, having better keywords, having hashtags. And so to answer your question, just put stuff that you would search in your hashtags. That's really it.
So is that what Mercari keys off of their search? They search their keys, not what you have in the title like eBay, but more the hashtag is the key for the search.
Both. I would say both. And because of the way that they're structuring things, those hashtags will get you featured on Google Shop as well. Like really? I tell people that I've had my own pair of shoes shown back to me, like on one of those pop-up ads in the corner. I'm like, what the heck? Like, that's my picture.
Huh. So I guess got to jump in.
Yeah, Mercari is a really good platform. It's one of the second platforms that I had moved into. I mean, obviously, I sell on Bonanza because that's just as easy as going over there and registering and importing. It automatically imports your new listing. So, like the other day, I sold a router on Bonanza for $100, and it didn't sell on eBay. So that was it's another avenue to make and bring more money in. But with Mercari, it takes a little bit more work to list stuff over there. But I've learned that more pop culture type stuff seems to do well over there. And that's where I list a lot of video games and list a lot of pop culture movies and stuff like that and do pretty well. I hadn't never really thought about shoes or even hats. And I might have to start moving some of my stuff over there.
Shoes, hats. Nikki T's been doing her first item that she sold was a Lily Pulitzer dress. She said it basically sold like the minute she listed it. I could be, blowing that up, but she said it sold fairly quickly. But I've sold books, vintage like Band-Aid tins. It's some random stuff that you wouldn't even think would sell on there. Because everybody's like, "Oh, sell your books on Amazon." I'm like, okay. And it literally sold faster on Mercari, and I got more money because I don't have to deal with all the fees.
I sold a rotary telephone. Actually, I just checked my email and I was like, my yellow rotary telephone. I sold it for more money on Mercari than I would have sold it for on eBay. It sold for $30 on Mercari, and it was only $15 on eBay. So I got twice as much for it over there. You just have to think, like, is it a place where I put long tail items? No, but it's a place where I put stuff that's pop culture or culturally significant. Like, you can throw it up over there, and people love shop. I've got, after this one clears, I'll have a little over $600 just sitting in my Mercari account that I need to transfer out.
So this would be, I've already had this theory where, like, if you do eBay well, like, Mercari should come easily for you. Like, is that your experience, John?
Yeah, I think that it's a simple platform. The only thing that aggravates me is I wish they would give more characters for the title. If they would give the same amount of Mercari, if you're not watching, but if you are watching,
hey, you never know who's showing.
They could be.
Always watching.
If you want to make your platform a lot better, give us more character titles, because it would make it a lot easier to import stuff. And I think you would see a lot more listings. Maybe that's not what they want, but sometimes it's really hard to describe an item adequately and like the characters they give you.
Yeah. Mercari should also move it down from 72 hours to 48 hours after the buyer receives the item.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So I mean, so I did go ahead and set up my account, Sam. I told you that.
Yeah.
Everything, and now it's just a matter of, not just dipping the toe in, but jumping in and get a couple items over there and trying to figure it out and stuff. I mean, that's the part there and everything. But so it's interesting. So the less fees. So obviously they don't have one thing I noticed, they don't have stores or anything like that. So you're not paying. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, you figure, you have a store fee with eBay. If you're going to promote it, you have that fee, and so on and so forth. Whereas
they want you to have 1,000 items.
Yeah,
they want you to have 1,000 items in your store. They don't care. They're getting paid anyways.
Right. Why put a limit when you're going to be making that money no matter what? I mean, the more that sells, the more money you make.
Yeah.
One thing that and John was talking about, how he sold that one item that he sold on Mercari versus selling on eBay, and then that maybe some people use certain items that they're going to put on eBay that they necessarily don't feel will fit kind of Mercari, like the pop culture stuff that John was talking about. I kind of feel the same way about Mercari. I think that there are certain items, and not just Mercari. I think all of the platforms that we normally sell on, with eBay, Amazon, Mercari, Poshmark, there is a certain item for each one of those platforms. I kind of feel like Mercari is the number one platform if you're going to sell video games, collectibles. There's a number of things that sell very, very quickly on Mercari versus on eBay that you're kind of competing as saying, with 150,000 sellers that are selling maybe the same video game, for example. There are certain items that sell particularly well. In my experience, it's always been, these kind of things, vintage toys, collectibles, video game systems, there's, even character backpacks, have done well. Figurines, there's certain things that sell very, very well on Mercari in my experience. So I think that anybody that's in the chat, if they're not already selling on Mercari, I think that definitely people should just give it a try, because it is very simple. As Sam was saying here, you can just get on your phone and you can do everything from your phone. It's like almost you have no risk. Like the only risk that you're gonna have is basically if you make a mistake, right? Yeah. If you make a mistake in the listing, or if you make a mistake on the price where you end up losing money, you know what I mean? But it's pretty much straightforward, easy to use platform. And over the past couple of months, they have grown so much. I mean, I'm hearing on the radio as I'm driving, you know, Mercari commercials on the radio. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, Mercari's on the radio. Awesome. I sell on Mercari, That means that now there are more buyers. Every time I hear a commercial about, now I'm hearing eBay too, but we're talking about Mercari. But now when I hear these commercials about Mercari, I get excited because I know that people are listening to the radio and hearing, and they're seeing that Mercari is now investing in marketing their product. So that's going to bring more buyers over to the platform, which makes it good for us resellers.
So what's the, like, why would a video game sell quicker Mercari than in eBay? I mean, if I'm searching, I mean, I get, is it more of the audience? Is it because it's easier to get to? Is it because, I mean, the app is better on the phone, so it's easier for me on my phone to even look something up and buy it on Mercari than it is if I, than the eBay app?
I want to say maybe, in my opinion, it's a couple things. It's going to be ease of use. It's going to be their target market audience, and it's going to be the hashtags.
Yeah, it's just being found. It's just discoverability. They really just make it easy for you to buy it. Like Oscar saying, just to buy it alone. That alone, just making it easier for people to buy stuff is like enough. Right? Look how well Amazon's doing alone, just with the buy box. That they patented, they own, nobody else can have it.
Yeah. So, you Mercari guys, you do any comics on Mercari?
Actually,
a little bit, yeah.
I've never did comics over there. Yeah. Pretty much, I do a lot of video games. I've did toys, Legos. I've sold a lot of different stuff over there, but I've never tried comics. That isn't something that I really find a lot. Plus, you have to have a lot of knowledge in comics. Even if you do find a good comic, then you have to know the grading. So, because like a 9.0 and a 5.0, there's a lot of difference in the price range on that comic book.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I know some people sell graded stuff. Like the stuff I've sold has not been graded. It's either like wadded up Batman comic books or stuff that I found in garage sales. Found a couple of key issues that you can kind of like sell for bigger money. Right. So it's same rules too, just it can't just be like, Spider-Man 1 or whatever. It has to be, a key issue in the comic book series, maybe a pivotal moment in the storyline,
Spider-Man 300 or Amazing Fantasy number 15 or something that, like first appearance of Hobgoblin.
Right.
There's a lot of key issues that, the mainly is the first appearances. I always tell people, if you want to learn comic books, learn your superheroes and then learn their first appearances, and then you can do well. You'll never know what you're going to come across. I've told the story many times, but I came across an Amazing Fantasy number 15 at an auction and paid $27 for it. And that was the first appearance of Spider-Man. That's one of the top 3 Holy Grail comic books that you could ever hope to find. And I bought one for $27. So there are deals out there. You just have to have the knowledge. And fortunately for me, I hung out with a guy at work that was just a comic book nut. And I would go sit over at his house and he'd show me all of his first appearances and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. And just knowing that, seeing Spider-Man swinging in with that big dude under his arm, I was like, that's what I think it is. And it was. So, I mean, you just never know. A little bit of knowledge. If you're sitting around and you're watching YouTube in the evening, sometimes it's really good to watch some of those guys like that give a lot of knowledge out there. The Auction Professor is one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, suggested items, they're saying backpacks. So like right now, so I have an older Mountain Dew backpack, branded Mountain Dew and everything on it. It would probably be a good idea for me to throw that on Mercari.
Mm-hmm. Just some things you have to know in order to qualify for that. Hashtags. So make sure you read the terms, and they'll tell you what categories that you have to put into it to register for it, because they don't always pick it up if you don't like get it in the correct category. And then you must offer free shipping, so price accordingly. So what that benefit is so to be featured, backpacks being the categories to be featured, to rank number 1, the whole gist is to get yourself in front of more people. So they'll do this from time to time, sometimes video games, sometimes shoes. And they're just telling you what's hot. What is hot right now? What are they looking for? And that's why I think is like Mercari's been a really nice teacher for reselling too, because right on the homepage shows you what sold in the last 10 minutes. And always go in there and check and just get an idea. I think that is almost more educational than any what sold video that I've seen, especially for Mercari. If you want to figure out what's selling Mercari, it's right there.
That's 100% right. Definitely.
So you find the customer service aspect easier. If I understood you earlier of saying that, hey, it's just easier. Ideal. I sell. It's your customer service interaction could not be as consuming as it could be on some of the other platforms.
I would say getting a hold of Mercari is probably as big of a hassle as getting a hold of eBay. They do not make it easy for you to reach a person there. You would think that Mercari is some crazy dark web company with like no office, empty space. But as far as like how they handle things, like so let's say somebody buys something from you and they automatically submit a return. Mercari will take 1 to 2 business days to review the return. So let's say, like for me, something broke in the mail. So that's nobody's fault. But because I used Pirate Ship, they fully refunded the customer and they left it up to me to go file a claim. I did. USPS paid me. We were Gucci. But then there was another person who said that like her like steel metal like hooks that I sent her broke somehow. I don't know how. Steel breaks in the mail, and she tried to return it. Try to file a return. Mercari shut that business down, and I got my money in 2 days. So,
I've actually had a case on Mercari where the buyer was refunded, was able to keep the money, and I was able to keep the money for the sale. Mercari did that. And this was when I first got on the platform, and I was like, wow, the customer service through Mercari is fantastic. Because I had done through the chat, and then they had refunded the customer. I get to keep my money, and the customer kept whatever they wanted to return. So it worked out perfect.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I agree. Mercari does have good customer service, but it is difficult to get in contact when you're trying to call them. But you can do the chat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting platform. I just think it's I don't know. I guess because it's more social media type, that maybe maybe you get that different audience, and that is why you're talking more pop culture, more video games, a different, I don't want to say age group, but a different demographic of people, make it what it is and make it easy. That's why maybe that's why they made it easier to use, easier to figure out. And they decided, hey, it's going to be a selling platform, but it's going to have a social media aspect to it.
Yeah.
And
if they, and I wouldn't let this social media aspect part of it intimidate you guys too much. If you're already doing eBay and you're doing it well, I saw Casey say, like, I couldn't imagine handling another thing. Totally get it, especially if you have a lot of listings. But they also have affordable, programs like List Perfectly. They can cross-list everything and delist it once it sells pretty easily too. So
right.
I know a lot. So I know there's that advantage. I know the translation's a little funky, just like, even just like the titles. So who knows? I know Mercari's trying to capture the eBay market. They're trying to do things like, if you're a bigger seller, they're trying to get you to bring your entire eBay store over. I don't know how they're doing that, but they're trying to. I know they're reaching out to a lot of bigger social media channels right now. They're probably going to be running some sort of blast marketing campaign like within the next few months. Like, I already spoken of two accounts. One's an 80,000 sub million view account. Another one's, multi-million, 100,000 sub account. They're like, yep, Mercari's already reached out. So be on the lookout.
That's awesome.
Some shoe people.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, I get, you wonder, was that what Mercari does from a standpoint of you, the buyer, and then you, the seller, right? And I wonder if that Mercari has helped drive eBay's managed payments type thing, to where it opens up, because like you said, Mercari, you pay with what you want to pay with.
Yep. And also too, like, as from a seller standpoint, if somebody's filing a return and eBay says no, they can still go through PayPal, and kind of get at you that end. And with one person handling the money without two people, it's like so much nicer. Granted, people who sell high risk items like coins and stuff like that, or adult content, is probably going to be sad that their porn empire is shutting down, but I'm sure they're smart enough to pivot. Like,
so we have Louis got a question. Is multiple platforms working against resellers, or in the end game, is it much to our benefit? I think it's a little of both, because I wonder how many people limit what they're going to do because they want to be on multiple platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas maybe if they only focused on one, they may have, a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're only on one platform, you may, list more, have more items available for people, but you may be looking at, wow, I'm on multiple platforms. If I have stuff all over the place, and now I have to worry about if it sells here, I got to cancel on these other 3 sites and so on and so forth. So that's what I think.
I think that, in my opinion, I think that it depends on the person who's selling. And it's going to go back to the items that you're selling, because it becomes a benefit for me to be able to sell items that I know are going to sell much better on Mercari, or items that are going to sell much better on Amazon. Like, for example, I have items that I was selling on eBay that once I moved them to Amazon, I'm making 25% more, right? So in that aspect, having multiple platforms to sell becomes a benefit. If I know that one thing is selling much better on Amazon, I'm going to move that item over to Amazon. But and the reason why I say it depends on the seller is because a lot of people maybe are not good at, having multiple platforms to resell on, because it's confusing. They're cross-listing. They forget to take one down, or they're afraid that they may forget to take one down. You know what I mean? And at the end, they're in trouble, right?
Yeah, I'll list items. Like if I have it on Mercari, I won't list it on eBay most of the time. Some of the time I will. Only time typically I will if it's a multiple quantity item.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I mean, if we're talking about social media, I think it's like anything else. You learn one first. Once you get a handle on it, then expand.
Right.
Because I think of what if your entire business was relying on Amazon FBA, and then COVID happened? What if you were just like solely selling clothes? You know, and you thought about getting into video games right before COVID happened. You kind of missed that boat, right? How many people were, and it could be vice versa, like, you know, where video games are taking a dip right now because people are going out, some are slow down, whatever people are saying. So, I mean, I think diversifying, especially in the business world, helps. You know, because like that's why I'm on YouTube and Instagram. Instagram might not be around forever. Vine disappeared. Social media companies come and go. TikTok almost disappeared once. It was Musical.ly and then turned into TikTok. So, and I mean, I don't think they're going to get deleted this time. I know they were talking about it, getting rid of it and folding, but I think to weatherproof, if you're really going to think about your business, like if I'm treating, you know, social media as my marketing, like what if your marketing was solely dependent on radio back in the day and then television came down?
Right.
Well, you would have to figure out a pivot, no? So same thing, like if, you know, you're selling, let's say you're selling an item that does better on one platform, but you're used to another. Say I've been selling vintage glass forever on eBay, but I totally didn't know that Etsy was a thing. Maybe I should learn about Etsy because antiques do a lot better over there. I don't know. So,
yeah, but I mean, you make a good point about the whole, you know, what you're selling and everything. I mean, I look at, you know, a lot of the stuff that I have been. I mean, you know, I'll have the occasional, you know, piece of clothing now. You know, maybe one piece every, you know, 2 weeks or so. You know, but I mean, it's not like, you know, when I first started on eBay, and that was, you know, really the majority of my, you know, sales were all from, you know, clothing and stuff. You know, so I think it is seeing the trends and doing all the other things, you know, and like even, you know, Cajun says, you know, Blockbuster didn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're done. I mean, you know, so, I mean, it is being, you know, I just don't, you know, like I said, when you look at Mercari and you look at Poshmark and you look at eBay and stuff, it's amazing how, you know, in reality, they are all the same, but yet they are all different. You know, they're all selling sites. You all go there, you list stuff, you price it, you sell it, you box it up, you ship it out and everything like that. But it's amazing how when you really break it down, you know, how different they are and stuff. And I think, I mean, I don't know, you know, would somebody look for a camera, you know, on Mercari versus, you know, eBay? Or does it matter now? Because are most people just going to Google? And is Google really the engine that drives them to the website? You know, is that where so when you're talking about the hashtags, like for Mercari, are they only really used for when you're inside of Mercari, or are they being used if I go to Google and I put in Nike Air Force Ones? Will Mercari stuff come up? I know I could try it, I guess, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
I guess the general answer should be yes.
Yeah,
But it's dependent on how good the person is listing. Assuming people listed it well, yes.
Right.
That's yeah. Because, dude, I mean, I know folks like Rinzy. I don't know if you follow Rinzy at all. I mean, they do a lot of their sales out of Mercari and Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace. They don't even go near eBay. I think they got their eBay account deleted or something, but so that could be why. But they live off of those three platforms and they do it well.
You can make a good living, I think, off of Mercari. In fact, I've sold some retail arbitrage items over there for more money than I was going to get off of eBay for the same item. I was selling some of those PS4 webcams when you could find them, and I sold every single one of them over there, and they were both listed on both sites, and every one of them sold over there.
Yeah, and it has to do because so many sellers on eBay, retail arbitrage, everybody's fighting for the lowest price, and it becomes, a race to the bottom. So Mercari, there's it's kind of the same, but not as much competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Here's a question for you, Sam.
Yeah. So, Chris, I am actually trying to check out Depop and Grailed and just see, because I picked up, like in my last haul, I picked up like a vintage Viking starter like hoodie.
Yep.
It's like in great condition, so I'm gonna see if I can throw that kind of stuff up, because like vintage wear and hats do well on Grailed, and Depop has like a huge following too. So
yeah, I'd like to try out Grailed. I have a lot of hats. I watched the episode of Over the Years where he found all those hats, and I love hats. I probably have 200 listings of hats on eBay, and then I have another tote in the back of probably another 200 more that I need to get put up. And I'm like, man, but they're not selling well, because it's one of those things that used to be a hot item, and there's some of them are still hot, but the prices have kind of came down on them. I need to go back and reevaluate my price points on them, and probably got some garbage listed too.
Chernock Connections is really, it's funny. If you ever follow Chernock Connections, so he kind of like, I don't know, I think he's the one who started a little trend with all the hats, because he's how much he puts into trucker hat restoration and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That was a good video I did. Yeah.
You can really.
So if you look at his Instagram, man, it's different. He has a totally different take on it. Instead of doing the all white background, he'll take out the background and he'll superimpose something else, to it. Like, so if he's got, a vintage NASCAR hat, he might put like a Daytona track in the background.
That's awesome. And that wouldn't be that hard to do. There's a program called remove.bg. It's a website. And you can, and I do that for whenever I had white backgrounds. I would put my image, I would take it on a white background, then I would upload it to that website. And then you could just re-download it. It would completely remove the background, and they would just pop. If anyone wants, I'll put the link to it in the chat, and just try it on some of your items. And man, they look like professional photos.
Well, that's what I did for the thumbnail. Sam didn't give me that picture with him. He had a cutout. I mean, there was some other stuff in the background. That's a really good one. Like I said, I think the whole other platform thing, it becomes it becomes what can you manage for your time,
right?
And I don't care what whether it's Mercari, Grail, Depop, eBay, Amazon, or any other one that's out there, that we don't even know about, whether it's Bonanza, whether it's Truegather, whatever was it, Truegather, I think is another one. Who there's, I don't know, it's probably 9,000 of them out there. But I think it boils down to, I think you said it right in the beginning, Sam, of if you can learn one and get good at it, that's the way to go before you try and expand. Because if you say, "Ooh, I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to get a relisting program right now, and I'm going everywhere. I'm going to go to Poshmark. I'm going to whatever they offer. I'm going to jump on." I could see you getting in trouble really easy.
It's just like burn yourself out trying to figure out 7 things at once, versus just
very great,
niche down. Because I totally understand if you're super passionate about it and you want to try and get as many eyeballs on it, But I think if you can do one well, granted there are some exceptions, like you definitely can't sell food on Mercari, so you can try all you want, you just can't. So if you're thinking about, like, if you had done, your grocery pivot for Amazon FBA,
right?
Like a lot of people did, it wouldn't have worked out for you on Amazon. And if you had tried to get around the eBay and the Amazon thing for price gouging cleaners, it was just a matter of time you're going to get in trouble for the same thing on Mercari. So, and I would see it happen to people left and right. It was wild.
Yeah. There was one night, Craig. They were going to change the world.
Well, it was a good idea, but it just takes so much money to get. I mean, the amount of money you would have to get a. It isn't 1997. I mean, to get something up and going in today's market takes a lot of work.
Well, you need a lot of backing. I mean, when you're trying to do that kind of stuff, from that standpoint, I mean, you need to be able to, you're going to try and jump in, and you need to have something a little different. That's why I think Mercari, Poshmark, while they've been able to do their thing, is they are different from eBay. They might be harder to some people. To other people, they're easier. But they are different. They have those little nuances, that make them different. If you're going to go ahead and you're just going to try and come out and basically, do the exact same thing that eBay does, but just change the website you go to and the pretty little background, it's going to be kind of hard for you to succeed. So, well, hey, hour and 6 minutes went by really fast. Holy cow.
Cruising, man.
Yeah, I'd love to have Sam back on. He's just a great content creator and a great personality.
And we didn't even get to the cool stuff. The mushrooms.
You didn't think so? We got through cool stuff.
The Jets. New York
Jets. The New York Jets.
He hit us with that wisdom.
That's it. We got the more important stuff.
That's right.
Hey, Lorena. So we'll go ahead and I don't care. We keep going. It doesn't make a difference to me. It's up to you guys. I mean, I don't want to keep you any longer, than you want and everything. Any other words of wisdom you want to go ahead and talk about? We can get off. So we also, like Craig said, we can go ahead and we can talk about him, in the background. So we don't have to worry about him, hearing us. But with that, hey, everybody in the chat, thanks a lot. We'll go ahead and we'll shut this down and everything, and we'll have some last words of wisdom by everybody, and we'll go from there. So, Oscar,
I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to Sam for all the great info and for coming out, hanging out with us. I think that, he's got a lot of great information to share, and I think that it will be good so we can get into the good stuff next time if he can come back on a future that reselling show, or even maybe one weekend come on the Bad Boys of Reselling Saturday night. I think that will be fun also. But this weekend about the Bad Boys of Reselling, 9 p.m. is going to be on Fat Man the Flippers channel, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then next Wednesday, that reselling show is going to be Wednesday right here, 10 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. On El Cubanaso's channel.
El Cubanaso.
Right on.
Johnny, what do you have going on, man?
Oh, not much. I am going to put out a video here in a few minutes, so I'm going to be releasing the horses there. Just a video of us pulling stuff from the old basement. What do we sell? Could be interesting. Probably not, though. That being said, you guys, thanks for watching, and I hope your horses are not in ditches.
Sam?
Guys, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. Hopefully, everybody who is watching got some value out of this, and if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up for these guys. It was a pleasure coming on. Thank you for thinking of me. Yeah, man, and for anybody who is struggling with social media, the last thing I can leave you with is just think of others. Try and provide value for others. Give them a reason to come to you. It's okay if you give things away for free. I promise you the side effect you'll get paid eventually. Don't worry about that. Just help other people.
Great. And I want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night to go ahead and be here. Mods, thanks for controlling the chat. Much appreciated. And hey, you could go ahead and lead a horse to water, but if he steps in a hole and breaks his leg, you may have to shoot him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, Hey, everybody, go out there and you make them an offer that they can't refuse.
That's
Peace,
a horse.
everybody. Thanks a lot.
It's a horse.